Dr. Tracy Page, and welcome to Health Made Easy, where we discuss topics focused on hormonal health, weight loss, and wellness. Yes, you heard me. I want to make being healthier easier. Don't get me wrong, we all have to do the work, myself included, but let's make being healthy less complicated. I'll provide clear, simple, and actionable steps that you can implement into your daily life. Really, who doesn't want to feel better? If you're ready to increase your energy, optimize your well-being, and restore your health, then listen up. I love helping my patients and listeners optimize their health and clear away the brain fog, shed the excess weight, improve their mood, and really change the way they age. I am a triple board certified physician, and I created Health Made Easy just for you. Let's get started on today's topic. Welcome to episode number 5, where we talk about all things sleep. And don't go get your pillow just yet, because I want to set you up for a good night's sleep, not just tonight, but every night, and explain to you why it's so important that you rest and that you recover and rejuvenate. And sleep, yes, should be your foundation. Now, I think if you listen to the very first episode, I told a funny story about how when I was dating my husband, who did not need a lot of sleep, his average was 5 to 6 hours at night. And he didn't understand why I would say, I need 8 hours sleep. Don't call me, I'm sleeping, or I need to get to bed because I need my sleep. And I'm more of an 8, sometimes 9-hour girl. And I would say that's kind of fluctuated over time, but especially if I'm exercising a lot, I need more sleep. And so we did this little thing where we drew a pyramid and we put 4 lines across the pyramid. And I asked him to put down his foundation, what was most important, then up the next level, the second thing, third thing, and the fourth thing. And then we were gonna exchange them and share a little bit more about ourselves. And we had probably been dating, I would say, 2 or 3 months when we did this exercise. And it was me who wanted to do it because I was like, I don't think he understands how important sleep is to me. So the very first thing on the bottom of my pyramid was sleep. And he is the first one to remind me when I'm not sleeping because I'm super excited. I have a lot of stuff going on and I don't shut my brain down. And he says, hey, isn't sleep your pyramid, like the foundation of your pyramid? And he is right. It is. Everything is better with sleep. I function better. I feel better. I think better. I move better. My mood is better. I mean, come on, everything is better with sleep. And I have never met anyone who wouldn't agree. Now, when you go through medical school training, they always say the saying that is sleep when you're dead. You can sleep when you're dead, meaning that you're really not tough enough if you don't stay up all night and you don't power through. And I stayed up one too many times all night. I'll never forget that I fell asleep on a keyboard once, typing a patient note. So I don't think staying up all night makes you a stronger human being. I think it makes your cortisol levels go up. It makes you gain weight. It makes your brain not work. We know that it makes you not test well when you're taking exams. There's so many things that happen when we're not sleeping. So today I want to talk to you about this very important concept. And I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about some of the science around sleep. So I'm going to talk to you about your circadian rhythm. So there's a lot of stuff out there about circadian rhythm, circadian fasting, circadian rhythm, how it affects sleep. And so basically, light goes into your eyes when you have sunlight. It hits your retina, which is in the back of your eye, and it is transmitted to what's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. No one's going to test you on that. And then that goes on to the pineal gland. Okay. This is an area of the brain where serotonin is made or synthesized into melatonin. And so it's based on a light and dark signal. So if the light is hitting this area, melatonin synthesis is suppressed and cortisol is made. So when the light hits your eyes and you wake up, cortisol gets made, and cortisol is what gets us up and gets us out of bed. Okay. If light is not hitting this area, then melatonin is formed and cortisol is suppressed. So this is why we tell you to turn off your electronic devices at night or to get amber colored glasses to block out blue light, because you're sending a signal to your brain that says, hey, make cortisol when you're sending in that light at nighttime. Okay. So light exposure boosts cortisol, and we want that during the day, and it inhibits melatonin. But getting exposed to light first thing in the morning throughout the early part of the day is really important because it helps you make that cortisol. So then at nighttime, it's crucial that cortisol be low so that you can sleep. Okay. So great light exposure during the day, but very little light exposure during the night. So unfortunately, though, we don't recognize the difference between artificial blue light and sunlight. So even after the sun is set, if you're watching TV, if you're playing on your tablet or your phone, if you're working on your computer, or even if you just have some LED light bulbs turned on, then that is suppressing melatonin and synthesizing cortisol, and you're not winding down and you're not going to sleep. So it really is so important in helping you set your circadian rhythm so that you sleep through the night. Okay. So that's about as deep as I'm going to get on the science. I just really want you to understand why it plays a role. And then I'm going to talk to you about some of the things I want you to do to help you get a good night's sleep. So, first of all, honor your circadian rhythm. So, step outside within the first 15 minutes of waking if you can, or like I do, I don't step outside. I just go to the window and I look outside and I let the sunlight go into my eyes. And I try to spend some time at the window drinking my coffee. Now, if it's on the weekend or a day where I can get outside, then absolutely I try to get outside for at least 20 minutes in the sunlight because it really does set the circadian rhythm. And then I try to incorporate some movement in that. So that's a walk. Okay. You really want to try to get your movement in before 2 p.m. if you can, because again, you don't want to be spiking cortisol at night. Now, if I have a patient in my office who says, hey, I can only get my movement in after work, then I'm going to say walk after dinner, because not only does it help you get your movement in, wind your body down, and it helps lower your insulin levels because you just ate. So I'm not going to discourage you from doing that. But I would say if you're doing high intensity exercise, do it in the morning, such as bicycling, in the gym, running, whatever it might be. Try to do it first thing in the morning because it's better for your body so that you sleep better at nighttime. Okay. But I have one of those apps that measures my sleep, nothing fancy, but I routinely notice that when I exercise in the morning, I sleep deeper at night. I just started watching, over the months when I started studying sleep and trying to guide my patients on why they're not sleeping. And so I started, like I do with everything, I tried it on myself first. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going on with my body? What's happening when I exercise? And I notice I get into a deeper sleep the mornings that I exercise, and also too, that I sleep longer on the days that I exercise, those nights I do. So the other thing I tell you is I want you to focus on blocking blue light towards the end of your day. So I have these amber color glasses. They kind of look like chemistry glasses. My husband tells me that they are not sexy. I pretty think they are sexy, but he says they're not sexy. But I put them on, especially in the bedroom, to limit the blue light. So he likes to watch TV in the bedroom. I don't. We talk about this probably every night. So I'll put on my non-sexy amber color glasses because sometimes I still play with my devices or read a book on my iPad. And so it blocks out that blue light. Also, you can use candles to create ambient light without the LED light. And this also helps reduce stimulation. It really helps the body to relax. So I think that's really important. And you can even buy light bulbs that are special that don't have the blue light. Okay. And then it is important to turn off completely your cell phone, covering any light from alarm clocks. So again, this is another conversation we have. We have a built-in TV that came with, well, it didn't come with, but now it has like the whatever, I don't know, like Spectrum or whatever service you have. Like this is how much I don't watch TV. So whatever kind of service you have, I think we have Spectrum or Time Warner Cable or something, whatever cable service you have. So they come with boxes and they have light. And I hate that because that light draws my attention and it can actually wake me up out of sleep. So I'm kind of like wanting to throw something on top of the box and then, then the remote control doesn't work. So we always have this conversation as well. What works for us sometimes is the iPad. So the iPad headphones can go in, he can enjoy his show and nothing bothers me. So, it's, like anything in marriage, it's all about compromise. And I didn't mean to get out on the topic of marriage, but if you're living with someone who likes to watch TV at night in the bedroom, that can disrupt your sleep. So that's why I bring it up. So we had to kind of figure out how I could have sleep, which is my foundation, and still he could enjoy his show at night. The other thing I want you to think about is food and how it affects your sleep. It's really important that we have a period of time, at least about 3 hours from the time that we last eat and when we go to bed, because you do not want to be digesting a large meal when you're trying to sleep. I have noticed, and I've practiced this on myself. So I have noticed that the longer I have between the time I eat and the time I go to sleep, I sleep more soundly. So now if you go too long, your blood sugar can wake you up at night and disrupt your sleep. So sometimes I do the apple test on someone where if they are waking up in the middle of the night, I have them eat an apple before they go to bed. And that pectin has that non-resistant starch in it. And if it's blood sugar that's waking them up at night, they'll sleep through the night. So it's a different scenario, but I would say, and an apple is not a large meal, but I would say if you're having your meal, make sure that you have it, at least 2, if not 3 hours before you go to bed. There should be no food intake. And I'm not going to go over diet in this particular podcast. I'm just focusing on sleep and what you can do to help you have a better night's sleep. But we do know that the foods that we put in our body, if they're processed, we're not going to sleep as well as if we're eating real food. It doesn't have to be organic, but just real non-processed food. The other thing, so avoid the processed food, avoid the fried foods, the artificial sweeteners, the additives, the colors, the dyes. If you're gluten or dairy sensitive, that can affect your sleep as well. Again, this isn't a diet podcast. It's more about what you can do to help you sleep. Now, if you're not sleeping well, it could be your hormones. And I've talked a lot about hormones in the first couple of podcasts. I don't, again, want to focus just on hormones, but I will tell you what labs you should have checked if you're not sleeping. You should have a fasting insulin checked to make sure that's normal, a fasting blood glucose. You should have your sex hormones checked, progesterone, estrogen, DHEA, testosterone, free and total. You should also have your thyroid tested. So TSH, free T3, free T4, and even your TPO antibodies, I like to check on my patients. Now, again, you can go to your doctor, ask them to do these tests. These tests should be normal because if they're not, if you're hyperthyroid, you're not going to sleep at night. If you have high estrogen and low progesterone, you're not going to sleep at night. Progesterone is very calming. It helps us sleep. I always tell my patients progesterone helps you fall asleep, helps you stay asleep, along with estrogen helps you stay asleep. So I see this a lot in my perimenopause women or menopause women. They stop sleeping. And it's just because they don't have progesterone, or they don't have estrogen. So as soon as we start replacing those naturally and reasonably, they start going to sleep again. And it's amazing. They feel better. I mean, it's just amazing how much they feel better. This podcast is brought to you by Orthomolecular Products, the exclusive supplement company of the Wisconsin Institute of Functional Medicine. Orthomolecular has been a leader and an innovator in the functional medicine space since it was founded over 31 years ago. They follow the latest science and combine the highest quality of ingredients to produce effective nutritional solutions for clinicians to use with their patients. By controlling the entire manufacturing process, they know exactly what is in each capsule, and they offer products free of allergenic additives and preservatives. This is one of the many reasons I decided to carry Orthomolecular products in my office. You can book an appointment today to learn more about how my team and our partners at Orthomolecular can help you reach your health goals. Call us at 920-380-9890 or visit us on our website at wisconsinfunctionalmed.com. That's wisconsinfunctionalmed, all one word, .com. Orthomolecular products, because efficacy and your health really matter. The other thing I tell my patients is really look at your overall, what you're being exposed to. So I don't treat mold, but I have seen patients have been exposed to mold in my office and have helped them in some cases. I'm not a specialist in mold treatment, but mold exposure or toxins can definitely affect so many parts of the body. And that could be a reason why you're not sleeping. So exposure to mold. And a lot of times patients don't even know they're being exposed to it. Let's talk about exercise, brain health, and sleep. So you want to make sure that you're getting some exercise. And I always say, make sure your exercise session is before 2 p.m. at the latest. It should be before noon if you can manage, but no later than 2 p.m. Aim to exercise no more than 2 hours if you need to exercise that long. I used to be one of those crazy people that exercise for like 2 hours. And there's nothing against my triathlete training people and all that kind of stuff. Go for it. But I don't believe you have to exercise for 2 hours to be healthy. I mean, I probably do 30 to 45 minutes sessions. I think a long session for me is an hour. And I love to move, but I have learned that we need more time to recover. And I have a lot of other things that I could be doing. And I love movement, and it's different for each person. But when you start exercising for that length of time, you really are breaking down muscle. And muscle is our metabolic currency to have a great metabolism, to be able to eat, to be able to get up off the floor when we fall down. So I don't want to lose my muscle. And I have, Yes, a podcast coming up on how to maintain muscle because I'm a huge fan. So if you exercise, limit it to less than 2 hours and make sure that you include both aerobic and resistant exercise training. I like HIIT training. So that's high intensity interval training because it includes the aerobic and the resistance together. So that's what I do. And you can do that with weights and then throw in some cardiovascular exercise. And I'm going to actually have a trainer that I know. We're going to put some videos together and we'll have those available for you so you can see exercises that you can even do in your own home that can include HIIT training. If you're going to the gym 3 times a week or less, try to add one more day. So I try to say about 4 days a week, I think is good. So 4 activities or 4 times a day. And then, on the days that you don't go to the gym, just some 30-minute walk is great. And I love that after dinner. If you're doing it for exercise and you want to go a little bit more intense, do it again before 2 p.m. Okay. Now I want to talk to you about how to manage your stress because it's such an important topic. And the more stress-free that we can be, the healthier we're going to be. So do some stress relieving type of activity in the evening because it really helps you kind of wind down. So that could be listening to music, it could be meditation, it could be taking a warm bath because that's a great way to relax. It could be deep breathing. So some deep breathing exercises is a great way to just relax and to get in touch with your body and to kind of slow your brain down. So those are some things I think it can be very helpful that you could do in the evening that could improve your night's sleep. And I always talk to my patients about their sleep hygiene. So, what is their sleep ritual? So, for me, I start winding down, put on those non-sexy, sexy chemistry amber glasses if I'm going to be in the bedroom with lights on. I listen to some things. I like calm meditation radio on my Pandora. That's kind of my go-to. So if I am having trouble turning off my brain because I got all these things I'm thinking about, I will turn that on and it gives my brain something to focus on. And that makes it very easy for me to fall asleep. So that's one of my go-tos. But you'll find yours. Sometimes it's reading a book, but it's important to have a sleep ritual. So I make a little thing that I drink at nighttime that has some vitamin C in it, some magnesium in it, some glutamine in it, sometimes curcumin. So I'll drink that at night. Sometimes I'll have it warm. Sometimes I'll just have it cold. That's kind of my nighttime drink. I do that. And then I brush my teeth and then I turn on that music or put on the amber colored glasses if I'm going to read. Sometimes I just put on the little silky nightshade glasses to just get rid of all the light and just go right to sleep. So I have a ritual. My body knows it's time for me to go to sleep. I do those things every night, kind of like you wash your face. Well, I wash my face too. So I do it every night. And so my body knows it's time to go to sleep. So I always encourage my patients, have a nighttime ritual and start it like 30 minutes before you want to be to sleep. Don't be starting it when you want to be to sleep. Okay. The other things you can do is keep your bedroom cool, dark before bedtime. Avoid screen time 1 to 2 hours before bed if possible. If you think you have low blood sugar, then have that evening snack. I talked about the apple, and I actually just don't do an apple. I usually do an apple with some peanut butter just to kind of balance out the protein, fat, and carbohydrate. In the morning, you want to spend some time outside, 10 to 15 minutes, getting some sunlight. And then the other thing I would say is, it's always good to prioritize exercise. We talked about that. Have a ritual. Reduce exposure to any environmental toxins. And this really isn't a talk about that. So I'm not going to go into that too deeply. And then just focus on some type of active relaxation before bed. Okay. Things you want to do is you want to make sure have an eye mask. So I love my eye mask. I actually bought 2 the last time I bought them because just putting that eye mask on my eyes, it just tells me it's okay to like go to sleep. Like it's time and it's silky. I have a silky pillow. I mean, I just like to make it just very girly, very soothing. So I look forward to going to bed. Now, some of my patients, they don't like that. So I tell them to put like a notebook and a pen by their bed so they can write. They can write all the things that they're thinking about and just get them out on paper and then close it and go to sleep. I also, too, back to myself, I have lavender essential oils by the bed. And I always have this joke of putting it on myself and on my husband's temples or the bottom of his feet. And he always pretends that, okay, he's ready to fall asleep in 2 seconds. But it's just a ritual that kind of says, again, it's okay to kind of wind down. It's time to go to sleep. Now, the sleep tracking device, I do monitor my sleep just because I'm curious. I like to have it. There are multiple ones out there. I think the Oura Ring is a really good one. You can use a bed cooling device if you get hot. I like to keep the room nice and cool. The other thing, too, is I do have earplugs, but I don't use them that often. And then if you are somebody who is snoring, if you're someone who wakes up coughing, you may have, if you're overweight or you have a thick neck, you may have sleep apnea. So make sure you get that checked because it can lead to multiple health problems such as right sided heart failure, hypertension, pulmonary hypertension. It can prevent you from losing weight. So if you do have difficulty waking up coughing or you stop breathing, or someone says, hey, you stop breathing during the night when you sleep, then you definitely should be checked for obstructive sleep apnea because you may need a CPAP machine. I personally want some blackout curtains. We don't have them, but that is on my to-do list because, again, I like the room nice and dark. No TV if you can manage it, but if you are married and your spouse likes TV, then that might be an issue that you'll have to work around. Try to keep digital clocks out of the bedroom, no office equipment, no working in the bedroom. The bedroom really should just be for, your personal time with your significant other and going to sleep. All right. You want to keep it cool. And then, like I said, eye mask or earplugs if you need them. I like the lavender oils. I just really like to make it very feminine and girly, and at least on my side when I'm going to sleep. And then I think those are probably the biggest things I would say that you could do. Going to bed at the same time every night is another big one. So your body knows it's time to wind down. So, I start to wind down around 8, 8:30, knowing my body's going to go to sleep because I get up super early. So, if you have a ritual and your body knows it's time to go to bed, it will start if you do it at the same time. And if you're someone who goes to bed late, don't try to go to bed at 8 o'clock and think it's going to work. So if you can typically go, let's say your goal is to get to bed before 10, let's say 9:30, because you're up at 6. So let's say your goal is to get to bed by 10. And right now you're getting to bed by midnight. Then what I would say is just move it back a half hour. So try to go to bed so that you're going to sleep by 11:30. Then the next week, try to get to 11. Then the next week, try to get to 10:30. Then it might take you a month before you get to 10. So your body will adjust, but you just have to give it time. And then you have to set yourself up for success. And sometimes it's going to work great and there'll be nights where it doesn't. And if you can't fall asleep, then the best thing to do is just get up, go do something, and then go back to bed, keeping the room, again, the bedroom for sleep only. And that's where I turn on the Pandora and have the calm meditation radio. I like that station because there's no words. So all I have to do is just listen to music and it gives my brain something to focus on, which is great. And then I fall right back to sleep. Okay. So have your backup plan. Now, are there lots of supplements and there are things that you can take at nighttime to help you sleep? Absolutely. But I always start with my patients with the basics, like we just talked about. And then I do check their cortisol levels to make sure they're not spiking cortisol at night because that will keep them up. I check their melatonin levels to make sure that they have enough melatonin. You really don't have to start out with high melatonin doses. You can start out with 1 milligram. There are patients who actually take up to 20 milligrams, and I'm not advocating that at all. Again, that's a specific situation. That's usually like a breast cancer patient because high dose melatonin has been shown to help with prevention of metastatic or recurrence. But that's a different situation. So I would say, don't rush to supplements. If you need guidance, there are some, and maybe I'll do a PDF with content upgrade about different supplements that can help with sleep. But like anything, always check your labs. Test, don't guess. Don't just start taking things. It's always good to test to make sure if you're deficient in something. I know when my patients are deficient in progesterone, if we replace that, they sleep. If they're perimenopausal or menopausal and they're low in estrogen and we safely replace that, they sleep. If they are low in melatonin and replace that, they sleep. There are different reasons. If they're low in vitamin D, like I have patients sometimes that are super low in vitamin D. If we replace that, they start sleeping. So it's not always just that you need to pop a pill. Let's find out the reason why you're not sleeping and make sure that you're setting yourself up for sleep. And then if all else fails, then take something to replace what you're missing, what deficit you have. So that's how I approach it. I hope it's helpful. I will tell you, when you start sleeping regularly, it makes all the difference in the world. Now, it doesn't have to be your foundation. It doesn't have to be the bottom of your pyramid, but it should be in your pyramid somewhere. It was so funny when we did that. My pyramid was exactly opposite of his pyramid. It was hilarious. But it was a really good opportunity for us to learn more about each other and what things make us happy in life. That's what it was about, what things make us feel good each and every day. And I believe sleep is definitely one of those things that should be in your pyramid. So if you have more questions, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to share tips and tricks on sleep. I hope this podcast will be helpful. I hope you'll try some of these things. Give yourself some time. I always tell patients, small hinges move big doors. So small little changes can make a huge profounding effect if you just start with one small, simple change. Okay? You can change the way you age. You can change the way you live. You can change the way you feel. And if you remember that and know that, then one small, simple change can make a huge difference in your life. All right. I wish you all a very good night's sleep. Actually, I'm going to be going to sleep pretty soon here too. So take care, and I will talk to you soon. This is an important reminder. The podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a diagnosis or a prescription for care. Please consult with your healthcare practitioner before moving forward with any of the therapies or treatments discussed in today's podcast. If today's topic resonated with you and you want more information, please check out our website, wisconsinfunctionalmed.com. All one word, wisconsinfunctionalmed.com. Also, for those of you who want further assistance with weight loss, consider our online weight loss program called The Pause, which can be found under services. We really focus on helping you reach your weight loss goals. We provide a supportive and interactive and engaging environment, which is led by me, Dr. Tracy Page, so you can get all the help you need. Remember, you can change the way you age, and I'm here to help.